All right, Nick. Just as we had predicted, Reds would handle the good left-handed pitcher, and we would jump out to a relatively large lead, 6-0 in the ninth inning. I think we just need to get these outs real quick before it gets a little too rainy. Love it. I also love that I can hear yours that just, I mean, we're talking milliseconds in front of mine.
Let's go.
It's almost like Sadak is like a psychist. What do they call them folks?
Psychic?
Psychics? Is psychics a word?
Works for me.
I don't know. All right, folks, 2 outs. Nobody on. 6-0. Rain starting to come down. Great American relatively empty. Sam Mold trying to close the door down. And he throws a strike at the bottom of the zone, 1-1. If you have not already done it, hit the like button before we even get started because that makes your night a lot easier as we go. I got to tell you, I didn't see this coming. So, for as frustrating as last night was, I guess we just get it right back. I guess you just, people are going to think we're overreactionary, and I guess I am. I guess that's what I was.
Spencer Strider, though, sucks. What a loser.
Oh, no. That ball's hit very far. Very far.
That's fine. You know what? He wasn't going to go 3 games without hitting a home run in this ballpark. So hit it now, big boy.
I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it. Now, the last time I said I made a mistake a year ago, maybe it was 2 years ago at this point, I don't even remember, but I did make a mistake, and there was a lot of people that were very upset with me when I said, I don't know if you remember, Nick, but Brent Suter had gone like an unbelievable amount of innings without giving up a run.
Yeah, I remember this.
And
this is a Fox game, I think, a Saturday night,
maybe night. Yeah, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I do know that I said out loud, this isn't a terrible thing that he's given up some runs when you're up by 6 runs, because inevitably he's going to give up some at some point. This is a good time to give them up. Now, some would say you should say that it's a good time to give up maybe a home run or two to some guys that are probably due to have one, because you probably wouldn't hurt you. But I've made that mistake before. I'm not going to do it again. So I'm not going to say that I'm happy that Bryce Harper hit a home run, but some would say statistically it might be better to do it now than tomorrow. Wow. They're asking fans to go to the concourse. I've always wondered. The players have an unbelievable union, right? Like that's their like, what's the right word to use? Pride. It's their pride and joy is like how strong their union is. Yet I've watched a few games this year, Nick, and even the Bristol game, where they had like quite literally swimming pools in the infield. They must not care about playing conditions for these guys. I mean, hell, heaven forbid these guys get hurt for trying to make a play when there's a monsoon on the way. We got to get the game over. And you know what? Sam Moll just did it. So we get to do a show, and we get to do a great show. Why? Because the Reds just won, and we get to tell you all about it. And where is this at? I need to figure this out. All right, we'll be right back.
It's gone! Oh my God! You believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in force rate. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Foster. The Reds win the pennant.
Larkins won the game.
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none.
Welcome Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Brady Singer backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Done up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive, hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the line, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Line into right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Nick, winning edition of Chatterbox Reds on what I guess is a night where all of the analytics, all of the metrics, all of the data would have told you otherwise going into it. Here we are yet again, finding ourselves maybe overreactionary the night before on another winning edition of Chatterbox Reds, when, quite frankly, I never would have expected this. I don't know. Maybe you said on yesterday's show, Nick, that you thought, you know what? Is it crazy to say? I'm going to give you a little credit here. You ready for it? Is it crazy to say that this lineup might be better against left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching? Now, it's a short sample, so I'm not totally sure if we can get ourselves there yet, but it's a good start nonetheless, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a lot closer to the middle than they were at this point last year, where it was so drastic one versus the other. And I have a bad feeling tomorrow no one's going to believe me for a second when they get to watch Mr. Christopher Sanchez take the mound. But yeah, this was a huge win for the Reds. Looks like the Mets are going to take care of business tonight. And there's just so many times that you could fall back to the 3 games back and survive. Like, it feels like the Reds have done that a couple times and they've crawled their way back, but you are running out of time to fall back that far in the race and keep, climbing back up.
Yeah, I think you would. I'm not sure. Maybe you had posted it or someone had posted it that I had seen. That Chris Welsh, I think, even said that the Reds are running out of days where you can just quote unquote win tomorrow, right? Obviously, you win yesterday and you drop a close game tonight. You could rationally say, well, that's fine. You win tomorrow and that's a great series. Well, they did it in reverse, and it seems like that's what this team has done a lot of, is win in reverse, or find things that they're capable of doing when you don't think they can do it, yet lay an egg when you expect them to make the push. Interesting opportunity tomorrow, especially when you have a homestand like this, Nick, because you're playing good teams, and you're playing a lot of good teams on the way out. Like, that's the one thing that I think that we might as well just get used to saying, is you're playing a good team. Now they got a couple left that you'd argue that perhaps you should maybe kind of take to the woodshed per se, but I don't know how many more times this year we're going to say we're supposed to win this game. Tonight didn't feel like one of them, and they found a way to win. And I think that's the mark of a team that's capable of making a postseason. Is going to be like tonight, where statistically, betting odds, everything's not really in your favor, yet you find a way to get the job done, and they did just that. Before we jump into the supers, Nick, we can do the box score recap if you're ready for it. If not, I'm going to do some supers real quick. Jacob Doyle says, looks like tonight we were Singer in the rain. I'm sorry. That was terrible. I'll see myself out. The issue with that is that that's over my head. I'm not very cultured, so I do apologize. I'm sure that's a song. Maybe I should know that song. Or movie. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a song or a movie. And now I'm probably getting ridiculed as we speak. Mouse Cop says, happy birthday, Molly. Molly, it's your birthday. Shout out to Molly. Just happens to be August the 12th of, what would we say, Nick? What would we say? 2000? Molly was born in 2000, maybe? Something like that.
That's right.
That checks out. Clements, I'm guessing it's Clements. I think it's Clements. The issue is, as I've said before, YouTube decided at some point just to take the complete name away. I got 5 letters and just a bunch of dots. Take it to the bank, he says. The Reds will make the playoffs as a wild card. Wow. Holy smokes, we're going there. I don't even know what the odds are. Energy. Yeah, I that's the optimism I'm looking for, and that's what I was saying the other night. You know what? That's the mindset to have. Why not have that mindset? Why not? Just so you can have your heart ripped out. We're used to that in this town. I mean, I've become accustomed to that. So, good news as Reds fans, man, is you really have a hardened system. You've been built to be let down. So maybe we ought to just expect at some point that they're going to get this thing done. So. That does it for the supers. If you haven't already, please like the stream. That would be very, very nice of you. If you're just now jumping in here, ATOBTTR has been a prevalent thing in the chat. And for those that don't know, that means that this one belongs to the Reds. Nick, got some semblance of a box score recap.
Just had to make sure I got Spencer Steer on this graphic, or I'd get shot. So wanted to make sure he was on
true.
There.
Well, he's there.
I have unfortunately had him in the last one. He was the last one, and I was like, I better make sure. I would not want.
He looks good.
To go by. All right, looks good. All right, box score recap. Let's go. Reds versus Phillies, game 2 of 3 at Great American Ballpark. Brady Singer against the 2024 All-Star Ranger Suarez. Suarez cruised through the first 2 innings against the Reds. He set down all 6 batters on 12 pitches, but in the bottom of the third, Jose Trevino and Santiago Espinal singled, and then with 2 outs, Spencer Steer snuck a ball past Phillies left fielder Max Kepler to put the Reds up 2-0. Bottom of the 4th, Miguel Andujar continued his hot start with the Reds with a solo home run to make it 3-0. Then in the bottom of the 6th, the Reds put up 3 more runs off Suarez. A very frustrated Suarez on the mound. Didn't feel like he was getting the calls from the home plate umpire. Matt McClain doubled, and then singles from Trevino, Espinal, Friedel, and a sac fly by Spencer Steer made it 6-0 Reds. Brady Singer threw 6 brilliant shutout innings, but the game went into a short rain delay, and his day was probably cut short after just 71 pitches. Final line for Singer, 6 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts. Brady Singer now has a 3.08 ERA in his first season, with his home ballpark being Great American Ballpark. Graham Ashcraft set the Phillies down 1-2-3 after play resumed in the 7th. Brent Suter threw a scoreless 8th. Sam Moll gave up a moonshot to Bryce Harper, but finished off the job. Reds win 6-1. Reds improved to 63-58 on the season, and the Reds have now gone 40 consecutive series without getting swept, dating back to last season. That passes the 1974 mark and is now the 4th longest streak in club history, the longest since 1969 through 1970.
All right, and you know who it is. It's the new guy in town, Miguel Andujar. Homers, 8th of the year on a line drive to left field. It was the deep drive of the day, 101.8 off the bat, 366 feet, 21-degree launch angle. Not very high. Not very high, which is probably why it got out. 3-0 would be the score at the time. The win probability would jump to 86%, and as we all know, it would wind up being 100%. DSC, they are a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information, and thank you to John, his team, and let's jump right into it. Now, I am so glad that you have Brady Singer as the very first guy on the rundown, because I think most people, when they see the Reds score 6 runs on the quality pitching that the Phillies brought to town, you're going to jump for joy and you're going to say, let's talk about that. Singer has quietly, and I say quietly to some because I'm going to keep their names nameless because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus here. But just the other day, I was at a golf tournament that we were running, and Brady Singer's name got brought up, and they said that he's not been very good. And I immediately was like, well, what's the expectation here? I mean, he's been pretty solid lately. Yeah, just because he has one bad start, perhaps, when you're watching a game doesn't mean that he's been a bad arm. Also, the expectation for me is that, Nick, he's a decent 4th or 5th starter. I'm not expecting this guy to go out and be Hunter Green or I guess now what we'd call Andrew Abbott. Is that realistic? I don't think it is. But you know what he has done, Nick? In a couple big spots when the Reds kind of needed to maybe try to win a game they weren't quote-unquote supposed to win, he has thrown the ball incredibly well. He's thrown the ball like an ace. And you can say whatever you want, but I'd rather have, and maybe people will kill me for saying this, but I'd rather have a guy in 5 starts throw the ball unbelievably well for 3 of them, throw one maybe a little bit below average, and throw one horrible. Personally, give me 4 really good chances to win, and I'll take the 1 loss every single time. Now, some are going to say, yeah, that's easier said than done. Maybe it's just an easy way of looking at it, but I tell you what, he has done that, and he has done it very, very well for the Reds.
Yeah, this is his 24th start. In 22 of those starts, he's allowed 4 earned runs or less. In 19 of those 24 starts, he's allowed 3 earned runs or less. So he's been pretty consistent. He's had 2 bad starts. Other than that, every other start's been serviceable. And most of those 4 earned run starts, like it was 6 innings, like he's been great. And I mean, the guy that they traded away has an 85 OPS plus and a negative wins above replacement in Kansas City. So it's been a great trade for the Reds. The Reds would be in a bad spot without him, with the way that the starting pitching is kind of shaken out, how many injuries that there's been. At times it didn't feel like he was needed, but he's absolutely needed. And he's been fantastic. And yeah, if he didn't pitch as well as he did today, Ranger Suarez is not back out there in the 6th, and you're putting up 3 more runs off of him. The Phillies would have been more aggressive, but they're down 3-0. They're not in a desperate situation. They have like a 5-game lead for the NL East, so they don't have to play desperate baseball. But if Brady Singer hadn't pitched his tail off, it would have been a much different situation, and this game could have gotten a lot hairier late.
Yeah, that's an excellent point by you. I don't want to say they hung Ranger Suarez out to dry, but they certainly tried to push him maybe a little bit farther along than if they were in a do or die game, they would have had him out a lot earlier. Let's face it. Yeah, I don't know what there is to say more about Brady Singer in the sense that his production speaks for itself, but maybe the biggest asset that we don't give him credit for, and maybe the biggest asset that we don't give Spencer Steer credit for sometimes, is his availability. He's there. I mean, he is there, and he is throwing the ball. Now, I think he's been throwing it exceptionally well, but I do understand. You said that he's only had 2 bad starts, and I, yes, he's had 2 bad starts, and I get that the casual fan from time to time, Nick, will maybe tune in on a night where that was just one of his bad starts, and they don't see him throw the ball again for a few weeks, so they don't understand that he's gone out and thrown, exceptionally well a few times, and more times than not, he keeps the Reds in it. So, by all means, am I suggesting that Brady Singer should be talked in the same breath of the likes of Andrew Abbott and Hunter Green when available? No, but I do think he should 100% earn the respect, and I think for a front office that we do give some grief to from time to time, they deserve credit on that trade. I mean, it's by far, in a way, been a better luxury to have Brady Singer than the alternative. And that's not to try to downplay or punch down on the guy who left to go to Kansas City. And I keep his name nameless because I don't really want to make it about him at all. It's not really about, praising the fact that he's not been a good player this year. I think it's about trying to take a deep look at your roster, Nick, and ask yourself, what do you need, and going out and getting it. And I'm hopeful that they clearly see the issue at hand, which has been offense. And I think jumping into that offense now is Andujar, like it or not, Nick, he's been a little bit of a jolt. I mean, I don't think that they got him from the standpoint of thinking that he was going to be an everyday DH, and I know that today was against a left-handed arm, and he would have been in there regardless. But they've kind of started to, in my opinion, put themselves open to the idea of just trying to see how long he can go and just put him in there and let him hit against right-handed pitching as well. So the offense, it is what it is. I'm not going to get overly excited about it because at this point I know who we are, and I'm not going to act like this has been fixed and everything's solved. I'll openly say extra base hits are a big thing, and if we're capable of getting a few of those on a nightly basis, we got a chance. And it was nice to see Matt McLean, have one of those, if we're being completely frank. Didn't get a chance to see. I was listening to the radio, didn't get a chance to see the ball that Ellie hit, but based off the radio call, I thought it was going to be over the moon deck. So you should have seen my face when I was surprised that the ball got caught. I don't know what ultimately that looked like, but hopefully Ellie can get going from a power production standpoint. And if that happens, this offense is capable. They are capable of getting it done. Am I putting my trust in them yet? No. I'm kind of guarding my heart here with this offense, Nick.
The ball hit by Ellie was hit 101 miles per hour, 389 feet. Changeup hit pretty well. So yeah, hopefully that's a sign that Ellie can get hot and can kind of just have one of those big 6 weeks to end the season, because Reds are a different team when Ellie's hot. I mean, there's no mistaking about that. But yeah, Andujar, he's an interesting player. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Reds brought him in to play against right-handed pitching, but right now they're kind of like, no one else has really stepped up into this DH role. I think also, Austin Hayes, every game that goes by, you feel less and less confident in him. Just it is what it is. And the fact that he can't play left field consistently also makes him less valuable to this team. So yeah, I guess you ride it out for now. He's an interesting player just because he hasn't played a whole lot over the last several years. So it's hard to say. I don't think he's this good, but also, he could profile as a guy that could be a sort of, I wouldn't say late bloomer because he was actually regarded really high with the Yankees at one point, but, a whatever guy, like a Brandon Drury type season.
You just never know when you get a sprint to the finish on which guys can possibly get you over to a new spot, and in the confidence level in your offense could get extremely hot. Like Spencer Steer starts, or not just starts, but continues to kind of, hit for power, hit for pop. I thought that the ball that Spencer Steer flew out on to left field, he just missed that. Now I know it wasn't relatively close to getting out. I don't know if you have if you have Savant still up, Nick, but it felt like, he missed it.
400 feet.
But I'm not even talking about the 400. I'm talking about the one to left field that was sky high.
Not the sac fly?
No, probably didn't go very far. But my point in saying this is that there was multiple at-bats that Sear had where it looked like there was some oomph to it. It wasn't just like, a weak ground ball that just seeing eye single that makes you think, wow, well, he's 2 for 4. I'm not trying to get on Lux, but sometimes when you watch Lux hit, that's what it kind of feels like. It doesn't feel like there's rockets everywhere, which I'll take it. If you can get on base, you get on base. I'm not complaining about it. But it just seems like this offense only really truly goes when they're capable of putting the ball over the fence and or when they're hitting the gaps. I just don't think they have enough consistent good hitters to pass the baton in single. It just doesn't seem to work and operate. That leads me to my next point. I'm actually going to do a super here in the middle of the show, which I know maybe on the podcast we don't traditionally do, but I think it kind of bodes well with something I want to jump into. Rolf says, Steer is phenomenal in recent clutch at-bats, and he finally looks healthy. Watch out for Steer's soup to be scalding hot boil. Espinal's hitting lawn darts and McLean doubles. Ellie's needed in RBI moments. We need more from 44. Here's the thing with Ellie. I feel like we all know that we need more from him. Does it mean that we don't think that he's, still helping the ball club? No, I'm not suggesting that. Do I think that Ellie's, on the hot seat for not being able to play? Of course not. But we do need more from him because at the end of the day, this baseball team, when they're playing their best baseball, or when you're saying the Reds are scalding hot, I just don't imagine, and I can't imagine a place where Ellie's not a part of that equation. Now, maybe I'll be proved wrong, but he's not been good enough as of late. He just hasn't. And the power's not been there, and really even not just the power, but the consistency in general at the plate has not been there. And I would like for him to be a little more consistent on balls that are hit near him. He did make an unbelievable play the other night, and so I'm not downplaying his defensive capabilities. But I'm not afraid to say that we are as good as he's going to be for the rest of the year. And I think he's going to need to be just a little bit better for them to make the run I think they need to make to get into the postseason. Nick. Maybe Nick just decided to leave because I started talking bad about Ellie. Anybody else think that? Or did he just maybe quit the show? Now, here's the thing about it. I wasn't trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to say, Ellie's not good at baseball. I'm just saying maybe we need a little bit more out of Ellie. We'll see. Nick's obviously having some maybe technical issues. My guess is that he'll be back in just a bit. I tell you, I didn't mean to hurt Kirby's feelings about the Ellie thing. But let's face it, Ellie's got to find a way to play a little bit better. It's just not been good enough lately, and I think he can be, and I think he will be. Another super chat here, as Nick Kirby is probably trying to fix his technical situation, which I think he said his power went out. Sean Krutka says, the Reds should absolutely extend Singer. For a team with so many pitchers with injury history, a guy who guarantees you 30 starts should be a priority. Here's my only hesitation with that. He's getting older, all right? It's one more year older. How long can you go before you run into a situation? Bronson Arroyo was obviously one of those guys that could absolutely give you innings. But the last few years of his career, he found himself in a spot where he wasn't able to stay healthy either. The issue with extending Singer to me is you've invested a lot of draft capital into some starting pitching. You've invested a lot of draft capital. You put a lot of stock into the likes of Chase Burns. You put a lot of stock into the likes of Rhett Lauder. You obviously liked Connor Phillips and Chase Petty so much that you didn't move them at all in the 2023 in 2024. So you're trying to, for lack of a better term, build that up. I don't know what Singer's going to cost, but I'm expecting it to be a relative pretty penny when that time comes. And I just don't know if extending a guy when you have as much issues offensively as I feel like we have, I don't know if I'm there yet. And I think you'd be buying high again. I mean, I hate to be that guy and sit here and say you got to buy high, buy low, buy high, buy low, no matter what. But, you know, how good is Singer going to continue to be 2-3 years from now? I don't know. Nick, who knows when he'll be back? Other than that, Trevino had a big hit. Let's face it. That was a massive hit in this baseball game. It kind of broke it open a little bit. And I obviously was going back and forth a little bit on Twitter just in regards to Trevino and Stevenson, having some fun with it, to be honest with you. Do I think that Trevino is by far a better player than Stevenson? Of course I don't. I would hope that people would realize that. I just am tired. I tell you what I'm tired of. I'm tired of always assuming that guys aren't going to continue to play well or guys aren't good enough because of the previous history that they had somewhere else. Not in Cincinnati, mind you. Somewhere else. They weren't good before they got here. Well, then why did we trade one of our better relievers for him? Why did we do that? Why did we extend him if we don't think that he's a relatively solid, serviceable player? Is it just because we want a good, decent backup? All right, maybe. But when the guy quite literally is helping carry an offense when the offense struggled for the first month and a half, has an 800 OPS and or more. I think it was like 822 at one time. Then he just gets benched, right? And I get why. I guess I get why. But I don't want to sit here and act like that I agree with it. Like, Trevino was playing really, really well. And then he doesn't get an opportunity to play for an extended periods of time. And then all of a sudden we want to judge him based off the fact that, over the course of his last 100 at-bats, he's not been great. Look at his splits. Okay, well, I don't know. That seems like a pretty hard task to do, is to play once every 5 days and continue to hit the ball at, a 750, 850 OPS clip. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Some would say I should probably take Kirby off the screen. I think he looks great the way he is. He's looking right into the camera, and you know what? He's not dazed, and he's not confused. All right. Rolf says, Trace, please take us through what you believe happens when the power goes out for Nick Kirby during a live stream. Is this a first? I don't know. I am a little worried that my live stream could possibly go out as there's thunder and lightning directly out this window behind me. So if the show just goes away, it's because, well, we just completely lost power. That's what it is. My phone's blowing up. People are texting me. I don't know. Do I want to look down at my phone and try to figure all this out? Maybe not. I will tell you this. I'll tell you what. Let's just run the show. Why not? Let's just run the show. You're gonna have to bear with me as I pull up the graphics package, but let's just do it. We're here. Let's do the show. I'm gonna get all the way through this, and then what's gonna happen is Nick's gonna pop on, and I wasted my time getting all the way to the area that I needed to get to be able to do what some would call a show. Let's try it. No, that's not it. That's just not it. Let's see here. All right, folks. Ready for this one? Let's get into 988. If you are ever in a time where perhaps the power feels like it's going to go out, I do want you to understand that you should understand there are resources for helping. You can text and or call 988 day or night. You can also visit mantherapy.org. Please understand that it's okay to not be okay. And more importantly, understand that the 988 hotline is there for you to use anonymously as well. So no judgment, There's no asking questions about anything personal. It's just there to try to get you the help that you need. You can also visit mantherapy.org as well. All right, we got the top, 150 disc golfers in the world headed to Kentucky. In Burlington, Kentucky, August 22nd through the 24th, the top 150 disc golfers in the world will be there at the Disc Golf Pro Tour LWS Open. Food trucks, beer, other vendors. You can visit lwsopen.com or dgpt.com for tickets. That's lwsopen.com or dgpt.com for tickets. Also, for being honest, I just noticed this. What's up with the logo there? You seen that? What's up with the logo? Let's put that back up there. That's like an airplane. I know disc golf, you kind of fly. I don't know. Is LWS something else? I don't know. That's here nor there. I figured it would be like a saucer looking thing, like a flying saucer. But who knows? All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's go to maybe. This is why doing a show by yourself is incredibly difficult, folks. Bullpen. Love that. And it's Trace's choice. Funny enough, Nick, I don't know if you know, they're all my choice now. They're all my choice. If you don't like it, blink. How about that, Nick? If you don't like it, blink. That's what I thought. All right, the bullpen. He hasn't been here probably because he didn't have anything else to talk about. What else is there to say? Ashcraft. I am thankful that Ashcraft came in and got fired up. Did you see that? 6-0 game, gets the punch out, and boy, oh boy, you'd have thought it was 3-2 in the 5th game of the World Series in the 8th inning. I'll take away a little bit of the sarcasm. Ashcraft, I thought, actually, you know what? I'll say this about him. I think that he's thrown the ball better than what he's gotten. Like, he deserves a little bit better than what his results have been. Personally. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. Just soft ground balls, weak base hits, misplays in the field. He's been the benefactor of that. The issue with Ashcraft, more or less, in my opinion, has been the fact that he walks guys, and that, thankfully tonight wasn't the case. My choice. What the hell is there to talk about anyways? The fact that there were 2 games out. Mets are looking like they are going to possibly win. So we're in a spot right now where going to the scores in Major League Baseball, for those that are wondering, the Blue Jays are up 5-1 in the top of the 9th over the Chicago Cubs. So they'll probably fall back another game to the Milwaukee Brewers. Why? Because the Brewers are up 12-0 against the Pirates. Turns out the Pirates, maybe they aren't so tough to beat after all. Braves, they are down 13-5 to the New York Mets, so we will not be gaining a game on them. Yankees, who gives a damn about what they are doing? The Royals and Washington, the same, but the Royals are up 8-4. Maybe if you have a little bit of coin on it, you might care. Otherwise, who really does care about those 2 franchises? And you got the Rockies taking care of the Cardinals, who are 2 games over 500, oddly enough. Or are they? I lied. Everything's switching around. They are 2 games over 500. They're down 3-0 to the Rockies in the top of the 6th. And then otherwise, news to notes. I don't know if there's really anything else out there besides the fact that the Giants and the Padres are currently knotted at 0 in the first inning. I have 1,000 messages. Anyways, maybe someone's trying to pop in the show. Maybe someone's not. I don't know. But I will tell you, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. First time in a long time, maybe ever, that this has happened. Some are suggesting Fireball. Fireball is right here. Now, the problem is, if I have to do a show on my own and we're doing Fireball, it could turn into a really, 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 really upside down show. People are saying I'm pedaling hard. Yes, I am. When I'm doing the old radio bit where you go through every score as you're trying to fill air, then times are tough. And there you go. See, that's why you buy time. You just keep treading water, baby. You fall off the side of the boat, Craig, and you just keep on treading. You throw up your flares, you're looking for the raft, and there he comes. Craig Sandlin to the rescue. I didn't know what the hell I was going to talk about for the next 30 minutes because the chat's obviously here. They want to talk baseball, but it's kind of hard to talk baseball talking to yourself.
Look, Trace, I've been trying to get in here for the last 10 minutes, and you're just ignoring text messages. You're talking about it on the show, saying I'm getting my phone blown up. Just take a look. Just take a look. All I needed was a link. My friend. But here we are. I'm ready to help you out. No promises that it's going to be great. I watched the game, so I'll have something to talk about. But you guys talked about most of it, and it looks like Nick threw his document that I usually steal off of him about MILB and everything into the trash apparently. So I'm going to have to do Reds MILB on the fly, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out though if we get to that point. But
yeah,
look,
I mean,
we're on Trace's choice still.
Trace's choice is that you don't have to worry about Reds MILB tonight because the Reds won. We don't need to worry about the prospects coming up, except for the fact that Sal Stewart is hitting I don't know, got an OPS of like 1,600 down in Louisville. The question of the day is whether or not he comes up. I guess let's go there. Why not? If it's my choice, let's just talk about Sal Stewart and whether or not he's going to be a guy that we're going to rely on or not rely on. And we got super bombs before we jump into it. I mean, these folks are just super chatting galore. I'll tell you right now, if we get us this many super chats when Nick's power goes out, I'll have plenty of power outages up there in Cleveland. You know the old line on the back of the bus in Bull Durham when he's like, "Oh, you guys need a rain out? I'll get you a rain out. You guys need me to get some super chats? I'll pull the plug on Nick's power all day long. We'll have plenty of people up there." Rolf is super chatting like he's going out of stock. I tell you right now, Rolf, your wife is going to see the bank statement and she's going to ask you if you got a problem.
Trace, I don't know. Have you ever super chatted yourself?
No. Yeah, I have actually.
So what I found is that YouTube or Google or whoever, if I remember correctly, the bill actually comes from Google. It combines multiple super chats over the course of like the day or a couple of days.
Wow.
So Rolf's wife may only see like one charge on the credit card,
right,
and may be okay. So it may work out well for him.
Yeah, it's just $1,000,
when you got Rolf money, I mean,
That's
$1,000 out of the bank account may not be much to the wife,
That's right. Yeah, like don't worry, babe. There's more where that came from. Plenty of more of that where that came from. All right. Rolf says, let's see. Trace, please talk us through what you believe happens when the power goes out for Nick Kirby during a live stream. Is this a first? I don't know if it's a first. I don't even know if I read that yet because I just know this. I looked over and there was a super chat galore. Rolf says, call to the bullpen for Fergie Fowler or Craig Sandler, the hammer. And we got Craig Sandlin. Come ripping into the side door was Craig. Helping us close it down. Now, I guess the question is, are you Santillan or are you Pagan?
Ooh, man. Well, let's go Santillan because Santillan is the high leverage guy. You may not always get me in the ninth. You may not always get me in the eighth, but you got me when you need me, Trace, and that's really what matters the most.
Kind of look like Santillan a little bit with the beard there. Pull the hat down real low. Maybe turn the lights down I'm just saying. You got to look at the beard.
Sure.
I mean, I'll pull his picture up right now if I have to. Rolf said, I tried to have a staring contest with Nick, but I blinked first. That's funny. That's really good. And Rolf then, just with another bomb, drops says, the hammer is here. Rolf wasn't messing around, man. I mean, that guy's what a loyal supporter Rolf is. The other thing, too, my man Rolf, we went and got lunch one day, and I got this nice shirt from Washington. Is it Washington Chili? I think it's Washington Chili. I don't know. I should definitely know, but I don't. And he gave me a Matt McLain rookie card, and ever since he gave me that rookie card, I feel like the value has just gone down and down and down and down and down. Now maybe it'll come soaring back here at some point, but that's here nor there. I guess let's get into Sal Stewart.
I don't think I have a McLean behind me. I've got Friedel, I've got Ellie, I've got Lodolo, Hunter Green. I don't think I have a McLean now. Maybe that'll be my next one. Camp Washington Chili, though, is what you're talking about. Shout out to Washington Chili. No free ads, of course.
Yeah, never free ads on this show. Let's I guess Sal Stewart. What do you do about it? It feels like the Reds are in a spot right now where, for the vast majority of the year, certainly until Andujar came to town, You don't have a DH that you really can trust significantly, right? Your second baseman's not played significantly well. I think that he's still played pretty good defensively, but he's struggled a little bit defensively. Let's not act like he hasn't, at least according to what he has been in the past. And now you have Sal Stewart just banging at the door. Now, I always say you need to throw a little caution sign out there and say, if we're relying on guys that have never played in the big leagues at all to be the saving grace for the offense, that's probably not a very good recipe. But I don't know how you feel, Craig, but he's starting to make a pretty damn good case for at least getting somewhat of a shot.
Well, I think at some point the Reds are kind of just waiting for that moment that they need Sal Stewart. I think right now they're just in that moment where, okay, we don't need him. There will probably come a time where we do need him, and maybe that'll be when we see him. The report from Charlie today was that he's starting to get more work over at first base, which a lot of us have been kind of clamoring for. Obviously, his experience has been at second base and at third base, which he's kind of blocked by Matt McClain, and obviously now the addition of Ke'Bryan Hayes. So getting some work in at first base. Obviously, Tito loves Spencer Steer over there, but doesn't mean that Sal Stewart can't get some run there. But if he's going to continue to hit the way that he's been hitting, and we're going to get into this in a little bit, but Sal Stewart hit his 5th home run of the night tonight in Louisville. So I certainly think that there's going to be a time where you can benefit from him. There's no doubt that you can benefit from the power that he can bring. I think to Kirby's point that he's been talking about on social media today and everything else is that there's 2 months left in the season. Everyone's going to overreact to whatever happens in the next 2 months with Sal Stewart. And at that point, it'll be a question of will it be a positive overreaction where he comes up and has a Rhys Hines kind of performance, or will it be Rhys Hines of late performance where he struggled significantly when he gets to the major league level? So I don't know if that's the thing or not, but certainly I know that me and you agree that this team needs power, and as of right now, that power doesn't exist.
The issue I have, too, is that Matt McClain has entered into this realm of nobody can touch him when I don't know if he's deserved that yet. I do think that in 2023, he played like an unbelievable player. I mean, he was one of the best players on their team. You could argue the best player on their team at times, even when Ellie was playing really exceptionally well at the same time. But since then, it's just not been the same. I say that in saying, on a night where you feel like, hey, Matt McClain contributed, right, Nick? And I say Nick because you have your damn name right below you, and I'm reading, Craig. He contributed tonight, right? Like that what a big hit. He struck out 3 times. I'm not trying to be rude, but like he's 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And you know what's I feel this way. I thought it was great. We got a good game out of him. That was nice. Is that the bar that we have to have? I mean, is that really what we want to say is good anymore? Now, to be clear, this is the major leagues. Matt McClain did what, if we're being maybe not at the AA level, but Matt McClain did what Sal Stewart's doing in AAA. He's been there, he's done that. So I don't want to sit here and act as if Sal Stewart's 100% better than Matt McClain. It's just that I guess to a certain extent, there's just 0% chance they're going to move Matt McClain. You know why? Because they believe in his defense. I think that they wholeheartedly believe that there's a much better player somewhere in there, and it's going to come out at some point. The concern I have is we're in a race, right? We're in a sprint, dead sprint. We've lost the ability, Craig, to just say, well, it'll all sort itself out over the next, call it 4 months. It's a long season. Season's not long anymore. This ain't a long season anymore. This is a night-by-night basis thing, and he has showcased the inability to be able to be consistent at the plate over long periods of time this entire year. I know that someone's going to say, well, if you look at his last, it happens every time, Craig. Someone's going to say, well, if you look at his last 20 games at night when the temperature is between 68 and 74 degrees, and there's a guy with a right-handed pitcher on the mound, and the other manager's chewing bubble gum, he's hitting 440. All right. Okay, that's fine. But I watch the baseball games, and I see a guy that doesn't look the part. I I know I'm preaching to basically nothing here because he's not going to move off second base. And I'm just openly admitting that I don't know if that's the right choice. Like, if you're going to stick Gavin Lux out there because you think his bat has to be in the lineup the other night, you can't be that far behind on thinking that Lux could possibly play second base. That's all. There's no way. I mean, there's just no way. These dudes are pranking me. This is a prank. At this point, how the hell am I supposed to do a show? Okay? I get one guy on, he's gone. I get another guy on, he's gone.
Listen, Nick's in the text messages yelling at me because apparently the microphone wasn't selected correctly. I tried 18 times in Google Chrome to reconnect with the correct microphone. It wasn't working, Trace. So guess what?
You tell Nick Kirby
to cheap ass Safari, and apparently that works. So I tell you what, you call VMix, you let them know. Look, you got a bug, okay? There's a bug in the system that in Google Chrome, I can't adjust the microphone and the camera that I'm using. When I reconnect, it just automatically reconnects to the one I was already using. So for everybody that had to listen to me rant with my headphone microphone instead of my actual microphone, I apologize. Nick was yelling at me. I felt the pressure, Trace. I felt the pressure. So here I am.
Now you know what
I heard you.
Now you know what it's like to be Spencer Steer, okay? Yeah, you might have been underperforming a little bit. But you know what, Craig? You were here, and he wasn't, right? So you were audible. I could at least hear you. I understood what you were saying. But you know what? He's not even around.
Yeah, Nick, where are you at?
Yeah,
adjust your microphone, bud.
He's gone. He's on the IL. It's like Hunter Green. He's great when he's here, but by God, he's not here. So what are we talking about? Speaking of Hunter Green, he'll be, I think, throwing tomorrow. We'll get to that in just a minute. I guess at this point, Craig, final point I was making on Sal Stewart. He's not going to go to second base, but I guess what I'm trying to openly say is I don't think that it's the worst idea either. If I'm being completely frank, if Matt McLain can't play a little bit better over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and Sal Stewart is continuing to do what he's doing, and Andujar is doing what he's doing, and Spencer Steer looks like he's starting to have some pop and some power, and he still continues to play a good first base, I'm not opposed to it, okay? That's all I'm saying. Or you can even slide Lux in there. But I will say I'm not totally sure if Lux can defensively handle it, but I'll tell you, some offense would be nice at that position.
Well, here's the thing, Trace. You look at quotes from frickin' Terry Francona as recently as last night. Yeah, we got some home runs tonight, but that's not who we are. That's not who we want to be. You won the ball game, or you were in the ball game because of home runs. You'd get them again tonight. You talk about, well, that's not who we want to be. Well, I hate to break it to you, Terry, but your record when you hit a home run and your record when you don't hit a home run, very, very different. So I realize that that's maybe not who you think you should be, but the stats don't lie. And the stats are saying that when you guys hit a home run, you're a much better team. And Sal Stewart has shown power at every level. You've got guys at the minor leagues who you refuse to call up and give real opportunities to, and Will Benson and Reese Hines and Sal Stewart, who are showing power. Even Ryan Velarde has shown power at the minor league level this year and might be a better option at this point. I just get frustrated with the approach and with the philosophy around building this roster out more so than the results. Like, yeah, Matt McLain is struggling, but Matt McLain is doing what the Reds want him to do of late, and that is put the ball in play, even if it's not with power. So that's the struggle that we're facing here, Trace, is, okay, well, we can sit here and say, okay, Matt McLain has an OPS under 500 or whatever it is over the last couple months. But the truth of the fact is that that's what this team wants to be. Terry Francona has fallen in love with Santiago Espinal and played him days on end when he shouldn't have, because he was hitting the ball and putting the ball in play. Terry Francona is still putting, he fell in love with Austin Hayes now and putting him in play. I just think that ultimately that's who Chris Valaika and Terry Francona want this team to be, and Sal Stewart doesn't fit that. And I don't know if it's they're scared, and if someone comes up and starts hitting home runs that they're going to be forced to play that guy every day, or what it is, but right now it doesn't feel like Sal Stewart is part of the philosophy of this baseball team and who they want to be. And until that changes, I don't know that you're going to see Sal Stewart unless there's a necessity that is brought on by injury.
Yeah, I mean, for those that are sitting here thinking, "Oh my gosh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?" I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you can sit here and act like I'm making all this up, but it's right in front of us. I mean, it's not been good, folks. It's not been good at all. 7 batting run value. 7. Okay? Now, I'm sitting here trying to get myself to a spot where this is going to allow me to use the mouse. Here we go. Let's just go back. Let's just go back a couple years ago. Wow. You want to do this? Let's play a game here. Whoa. Wow. Whoa. Like those are drastic differences. I don't know who he is. I'll be honest, Craig. He might be closer to the version of 2023. And if he is, he's a superstar, and he's the guy that the Reds were trying to extend in the offseason. If he's the other guy, you ready for it? He's at best Santiago Espinal. And people don't want to hear that, but that's who he is. If this is who he is, what he is this year, he's at best Santiago Espinal. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if that's being respectful to Santiago Espinal. Anyway. Am I crazy for saying that? I don't know if I am. What are we doing here? What are we doing? This show is so ridiculous. I don't even know what to say anymore.
This is unreal.
I mean, is this
I
a
thought
bit?
it was you.
Is this a bit? You're doing this on purpose. You're doing it on purpose. You're just like, hey, babe, you want to see something funny? Ha. I mean, what is he doing? He can't be serious. This is amateur hour. I mean, I can't do a show. You want to do Reds in my LB? Let's do Reds in my LB. We might as well. You ready for it? Sal Stewart's good at baseball. The Louisville Bats played a game. I don't know whether they won. I don't know whether they lost. You can listen to the podcast tomorrow. You know why? Because I really don't care.
I got you. I don't know what microphone I'm on because I'm back on Chrome.
Well, I mean, you're on the micro. You're using the kitchen pans from the kitchen to echo your voice off of back into the microphones. What you're doing. You know what I would say though? I don't even care anymore. All right, Nick is going to be upset because it doesn't sound great on the podcast, but I'm telling you, everybody, in the podcast form, just laugh with us, okay? Craig does sound like he's talking in a submarine to us, but you know what? The truth is that Nick Kirby power went out, and when his power goes out, all hell breaks loose. So here we sit.
Nick's power just came back on. He texted us. Is he standing by wanting to come in?
Who knows? Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's do this. Let's do this while we figure this out.
He said the power's back on.
Yep, he did. But is he in the show?
I tell you what. I'm going to give you like a timeline here. You got 3 minutes. I need your best. I need the best 3 minutes that Craig Sandlin's ever had on Chatterbox Reds right now.
Well, here's the thing. Nick said I got tomorrow's starting pitchers, which means I should give Reds MILB scoreboard. I'm going to do my best with what I got. Louisville Bats, they beat Gwinnett 6-4 today. Chase Petty, career high, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Blake Dunn was 1 for 5 on the day with an RBI. Hector Rodriguez 0 for 5 with an RBI. Sal Stewart 1 for 3 with that home run. Scored twice, that solo home run. Reese Hines also home run. That's his 19th at AAA. We talk about power. Reese Hines has certainly shown it at this level. A lot of people talking about how he's reworked his swing and waiting for him to get a chance. Ryan Velarde, 2 for 5. Connor Joe, 1 for 4 in that one. Connor Phillips also pitched 1 inning, no hits. So shout out to him for getting right. Buck Farmer also pitched in this one inning. No hits. Again, Bats win 6-4. The Daytona Tortugas are the only other team that played today. AA Chattanooga was postponed due to rain. They'll play a doubleheader tomorrow on Wednesday. That starts at 5:15. Dayton was also postponed today. They'll play a doubleheader on Thursday starting at 5:05. They're going to face off against Kenya Huggins, who the Reds traded away for Miguel Andujar in Game 2 on Thursday. Reds 2024 8th-round pick Luke Hayden scheduled to start tomorrow on Wednesday, 1:05 first pitch on that one. So we'll be sure to keep an eye on that one. Low A Daytona, They beat the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles 7-6. Alfredo Duno 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Tyson Lewis 0 for 4. David Lordy 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, no strikeouts. DSL Padres Gold beat the DSL Reds 10-5. DSL Rojos did beat the DSL Padres Brown 4-3. Libertz Aponte was 0 for 3 with a walk in that one.
Oh man, who comes up with?
Was
the
that
color?
3 minutes?
That was great. That was great. Who comes up with the colors? That's what I want to know. The DSL Padres magenta. Yeah,
that's a great question.
Who knows?
Great question.
Some are
all right. You got to kick me off apparently to bring Nick back in.
That's right. You leave. You get the heck out of here. I want to leave on a good freeze frame though. That's the big thing. That's what you got to make sure you do. You better make sure that you got a good freeze frame and then exit the program. That's what you got to do. Perfect. There it is. That's big league. That's big league from Craig Sandlin. Let's go back to the supers here as I try to buy some time for Nick Kirby to get back in the show. Putrid Talent says still not swept. Scobie comes in and says, I get the Reds need more power bats, but I'm someone who doesn't want to see a team full of Adam Dunn type hitters. Ultimately, they just need a mix of contact and power, obviously. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about Adam Dunn, though, is that he was a good hitter. He could hit home runs, and he did walk. So that's a good combination. In regards to, the strikeouts, I don't know, man. I guess it's like I over the years liked when guys put ball in play, but I also have felt like I've come around to understand why maybe it's not as important as maybe once perceived, because the reality is that putting the ball in play more times than not, when not hitting it hard, lends itself to an out. And situational hitting, if we're going to sit here and get into the situational hitting aspect of it all, Santiago Espinal, a guy who's supposed to be a great situational hitter, I don't think has been that good in situational hitting. Putrid Talent says power doesn't just mean home runs. I think Tito just wants weak infield singles. I mean, Trevino hit it double after double and bench. Now, to be fair here, here's the thing with Putrid. Like, I'll openly admit, as much as I have sat here and I have kind of, wanted Trevino to at least be treated as an equal to Tyler Stevenson, because I think in totality he has shown, if given some opportunity, that he's capable of producing. I don't know. I also understand that Stevenson has had a better career in regards to offensive firepower. So who knows? Ned Flanders says, Trace, be warned, criticism of Ellie's power will result in farther work stoppages. Nick, glad to have you back. I thought you just left the program because I was saying that perhaps Ellie, is hitting with a pillow.
Yeah, no, I went because the power went out. It was a treat, super hot, no AC, baby screaming. That's why I changed my shirt, because I had a hoodie on and got pretty hot. So
nice.
Yeah, fun little bit. Now I'm gonna have to spend 3 hours editing this shit show. So
not true. Chat. Sometimes you gotta let them know, man. You can just let a raw, authentic show go. Am I suggesting that you probably should just throw it completely in there? No, but I definitely think you can be a little more. You know what you should do, Nick? You should just come on. You should say, folks, we had a situation last night. My power went out. Trace went off the rails. You're going to have to listen to him for a little bit. My apologies. The show will be back to normal tomorrow. I think if you gave that little headliner on the beginning of it and the front end of it, you'd be surprised. I think that might be good. I'm hoping it doesn't come off like a joke, one of those jokes where you tell the joke and then, like the podcast, you tell the joke and then you look at all your friends and you're like, well, I guess you just had to be there. So maybe the podcast won't come off as good as the YouTube show, but I think the YouTube show is A+. I think
I was being facetious. I'm sure you guys did it. Did you do the disc golf read ad though? Did you do that? Oh
yeah. Read? I mean, what do you mean? This is a pro.
We only have that for a week. I just wanted to make sure, No,
the disc golf ad was read, and in fact, if you don't believe me, I'll tell you right now. The Disc Golf Pro Tour LWS Open at Idlewood, Burlington, Kentucky, August 22nd through the 24th features 150, not 149, not 151, 150 of the top disc golfers in the world. They're coming from all over the place. Antarctica, Alaska. That would be in the United States, to be clear. I do know that. Maybe they're coming from Russia, Germany. Who knows where they're coming from, but I do know they're coming from all over the world. Food trucks, beer, and other vendors will be there. You can get your tickets at lwsopen.com or dgbt.com. Now, just so you know, Nick, that is the second time I have read that ad tonight, but I wanted to make sure you had all the faith in the world that it got read.
I know Reed worked hard selling that ad, so you know what? We want to...
He did. He did. And I'm actually kind of fired up to go watch that. If we're being completely honest, I actually, like, in a weird way... And you know what? It's almost the same way I felt about NASCAR. Am I a huge NASCAR guy? No. But if you're telling me one time out of my life, it's just one time every 5 years or so, I can go and just dabble in it, just see what it's all about, I get a little excited. So, yeah.
I enjoyed NASCAR. I enjoyed NASCAR. Well, some water would have been great, but I did enjoy NASCAR.
Yeah. I like the Tucker Barnhart sighting myself.
Guy was not happy to say hi to me.
Yeah. Probably remembered you and knew that you were probably killing him.
Yeah, probably. He probably saw the tweets.
Yeah.
Anything else to talk about? Did you cover it all?
Yeah, I mean, we covered it all from A to Z. You know how we do it here. We did Reds MILB. The only thing we really didn't get to was who, what, when, where, and why. I figured you needed to do something on this show, so why not have you do that?
Thank you. I wrote some notes earlier, so let's get through them. All right, 5:10 start time on Wednesday. For the I don't know if they're a winning band or not. Train is performing post game.
Train.
So if you don't, I mean, probably have a lot of people that'll be, obviously tuned into that. But if you don't want to tune into Train, tune into Chatterbox Reds post game. Hunter Green makes his return, pitching for the first time since June 3rd. In his last AAA start, he gave up 5 runs and 2 homers over 5 1/3, but he retired the final 9 batters he faced. Through 79 pitches, velocity was good, hit 101 on the gun. Green's only faced the Phillies twice in his career, has a 4.63 ERA. Trey Turner and Harrison Bader have homered against him. Castellanos is 4 for 6. Schwarber just 1 for 5. And Hunter Green has never faced Bryce Harper in his career. Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies, the best pitcher you may not know about. He's 4th in Major League Baseball in wins above replacement among pitchers. And he's been even better of late, 1.52 ERA over his last 9 starts. He's only allowed 1 earned run or less in 8 of his last 9 starts. He's a lefty, only throws 3 pitches, though, a sinker, changeup, slider. You want to hit the sinker. It's 95. Batter's hitting .302 against that, but his changeup is disgusting. Batter's hitting just a .138, 188 slug against that. Reds didn't see him when they faced the Phillies earlier this year, but he's got a 3.86 career ERA in 3 starts against the Reds. Active Reds are 10 for 27. Andujar is 3 for 3. Brian Hayes is 3 for 8. Espinal 2 for 4. And Ellie De La Cruz is 1 for 3. I don't know. I don't really have expectations for Hunter Green tomorrow. Like, if he pitches great, I wouldn't be shocked. If he struggles and has a hard time getting through 4 innings, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm excited to have him back, but I just don't have high expectations tomorrow.
I think it's realistic. That's a realistic take. I think it's a realistic thought is to say, well, you're going to get what you're going to get, and you really can't have a judgment one way or the other. I just want to throw the ball over the plate. Like, if we're going to lose, I'd like to lose because they hit the ball. And I'm not going to try to jinx it, but, like, I think it's fair to say, Nick, that if you throw the ball over the plate, they have shown that maybe they're not having the best series offensively. Now, that could change tomorrow. I'm not trying to act like this team isn't very good. They're very, very good. But I'd like to see them hit the ball. I haven't seen that yet. If you go out and you walk 2-3 guys in an inning, it just lends itself to something that I think will allow them to feel like they got some momentum when otherwise I just don't know how well they're seeing the ball. So maybe that's the biggest takeaway I'll have tomorrow is, does he force them to have to beat you, or is he going to find himself being so rusty that he's incapable of throwing the ball over the plate? But What a wild show. Maybe the wildest show maybe we've ever done. I don't know. Some would say that it certainly was all over the place, certainly off the rails. Nick is already, basically stressing about the idea that he's going to have to edit this. So my thought is simple. I want you guys to like this stream. I want you to comment to make him feel like this all wasn't a waste. And I also would like for you guys to come back tomorrow because I think perhaps maybe we'll do a better job. We do have some super chats on the way out the door, Nick. If you haven't already, please like the stream. The super chats on the way out the door are this. Rolf has super chatted more times tonight. Okay? We're going to keep it a positive show. I was going to say, just hypothetically, Rolf super chatted more times tonight than Espinal has hit home runs in his career for the Reds. But I think that would have been a low blow, and he really didn't deserve it. And I'm not going to say
on base all 3 times he came up tonight.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to say it. I think that'd be rude. I also think we should have a portion of the show, I really do, where we just kind of trash guys. Not because we really want to trash them and we don't respect them, but I do think that it definitely lends itself for their chance to play better baseball. Matt McClain is more than likely going to hit 2 home runs tomorrow based off the show that I just presented. All right? Rolf says the ad read coming from Teeth, coming to a stream near you soon. I don't know. Ad read coming for Teeth, coming to a stream near you soon, and no chance Reed is selling it to me from his Blue W seat. I think Rolf is mentioning that maybe he's going to have an ad read coming soon for some teeth, considering I do believe there's some dentistry there. That's the big brain that I think that I just pulled off, trying to cipher through that super chat. Putrid Talent says, Nick's here, fireball, I'm doing one with you. Just ripped one earlier. And now you're asking for more.
Ripping fireball for a split in 2 games against the Phillies.
I was ripping fireball because you were sitting there staring at me, Nick. I wasn't ripping fireball because of anything other than that. You think I'm supposed to carry the show? You're supposed to carry the show, Nick. I can't sit here and talk baseball for an hour without just talking stupid. You're supposed to be the guy that has all the stats, tells the people the truth. I'm here to try to be funny and be an idiot and tell some guys they're not very good at baseball from time to time and get excited when they play well. But on the way out the door, I do want to let everybody know that if Ellie can't hit home runs, this is not going to be very, very good. And if Matt McClain doesn't get better, we're not going to be very, very good. So I'm just going to say, maybe not knocking on wood that they're not been very good lately. And it's about time for them to step up. So hopefully they do. Tomorrow, maybe be a good time to put out one of those Mike DeWine prop bets that he's so in favor of.
Yeah, Ellie number 1 on the Reds and wins above replacement. Matt McClain number 4 among position players.
Gotcha. We're talking about wins above replacement. I'm talking about hitting the baseball lately.
Yeah, I think that's part of
lately. Just to be clear, lately. We're talking about a sprint, Nick.
Yeah.
Right. Sprints. That's what.
What do you got? What do you got over under how many home runs Ellie hits the rest of the year?
Well, he's had 1 in the past. How many days?
He only has 1 since July 1st.
Yeah, not good.
9.5.
9.5. You're gonna give me 9.5 for real?
I mean, he hit 7 in June, 6 in May, 5 in April. Maybe I don't know. So that's a month and a half. That's 6 weeks. So that's at least 8. I mean, I would say I don't know. It's either 7.5 or 8.5, maybe.
All right.
8.5 over under.
I want to say over. I do. I mean, it's gotta happen, right? Like we're buying low. This is the buy low, sell high thing. We're buying low on Ellie right now.
I think I'd take over 9.5. To be honest, I think he'll hit double-digit home runs the rest of the year.
Matt McClain.
How many does Matt McClain have? McClain has 11.
Yeah,
I think McClain will hit at least 5 more.
Is that good?
Yeah. I don't think Matt McClain's a problem, especially if he's batting 8th. I think the problem are the other people around him.
All right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you're going to tell me that we have a lot more good hitters, then yeah, I guess we're not upset at Matt McLain. The problem is that we expected Matt McLain to be significantly better than he's been. That's all. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's not fair to Matt McLain, though. I don't know.
I just don't need, because right now, basically, if you are benching Matt McLain, you have to have Jake Fraley, Gavin Lux, and Miguel Andujar. So you can get all three of those guys in the lineup. I can sit one of those guys to play Matt McLain. I'm not benching him. Number one, I don't think any of those players have the upside, even in this year, as Matt McLain. I still think Matt McLain can get hot. And I think Matt McLain can actually play a significantly higher level of baseball. And I'm not just benching Matt McLain right now because he's such a big piece of this team's future.
Okay. Let's be clear, it is a sprint, and we do need some production. Which we got some tonight. He got a double. Just struck out 3 times. Which, again, like I said, he did get a double. I'm not downplaying that by any stretch of the imagination. It's just funny how everyone's going to yell that we need Sal Stewart, though, and then all of a sudden when you yell you need Sal Stewart, where are you going to play Sal Stewart?
I'm fine with them calling up Sal Stewart, but
where's he play?
I think you maybe would kind of bring him up and kind of put him in a role where he maybe rotates around. I don't think he's a foolproof solution. I don't understand why all year we downplay like Reese Hines playing great at AAA all year. Like made a significantly leap and played well at AAA all year. No one wants to put any stock whatsoever into his stats. His stats are meaningless because they're at AAA. Sal Stewart comes up, has a great couple weeks at AAA, and you have to call him up. I don't see that.
Well, the reason that his stats are meaningless in AAA is because people deemed what he's capable of already doing in the big leagues, Nick. Like that's part of it. The reason that Sal Stewart's, for lack of a better term, his stats mean something in AAA is because people think that would translate to the big leagues. That's not fair. I'm not saying that's fair, but that's the reality. He's still the shiny new toy that hasn't had the packaged opened yet.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you an explanation. I'm not saying that's right.
Yeah, he's played 20. He's played 22 games at AAA. Ellie played 38 before he got called up.
Right. I don't think it'll happen, but I just see everybody yelling for Sal Stewart to get called up, and I just don't know where he's going to play. And I mean, I can't talk, so maybe I shouldn't even say this point, but the only logical place for me to put him is if Matt McLain continues to struggle really, really bad. And you need offense, and you're basically just throwing caution to the wind, and you're just like saying the hell with it at this point because we're just going to take whatever we get, and we're going to ride and die by the fact that we need some offense. But if Andujar, that's the funny thing what you just said that I actually think is true. If we want to get back to a really relatively serious show, as we're getting ready to get off, and I guess we're going to sit here and get into a serious show for like maybe 2 minutes. That's what's funny about this show. I guess I would say, Nick, you're not wrong in the sense that if you can get some production out of Spencer Steer and you get production out of Andujar, and then all of a sudden you add in Ellie getting hot, if you want to call it that, and TJ Friedel continues to play well, and whatever happens in the corner outfield spots happen, then yeah, who cares? I don't say who cares, but genuinely, it's not that big of a deal that Matt McLain doesn't play well at second base. That's a fact.
But my last point is this: would the Brewers bench Matt McLain?
I don't know the Brewers well enough, Nick. I really don't. I get that you probably only asked that question because you know the answer to it, or you feel like you know the answer really, really well. I don't know that answer.
Yeah, I think he plays great defense. Like he's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's 2 outs above average.
And I think that's low on him. Like, I think the ceiling's a lot higher than that.
Actually, hold on a minute. I might have lied. Hold on.
He was plus 3, I think, earlier today. I think he went down. He should have went down after that play on Sunday.
He's 3. I'm sorry. He's 3.
He was 3.
Oddly enough, I was looking at Espinal of all people. He was 2.
I think he was at plus 5 at one point this year. I think he's gone down a little bit of late. But
yeah. I mean, to be fair, in 2023 he was 2. Now he didn't. Maybe I don't know if he had as much time in the big leagues.
Played a lot of shortstop in 2023.
Yeah. I mean,
and for him, it's going to be really hard for him to get a lot of outs above average at shortstop, just because I don't think he has the range.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he just hadn't had a good year at the plate. That's all. And you know what I'll say? He's 26, so he's a little bit older. Maybe you can't compare him to the Marte of the world, but yeah, I mean, how many, like you've said 1,000 times, how many people were completely out on Marte, and now, honest to God, is he our best hitter? I mean,
he actually just passed McLean in wins above replacement. He's 3rd now among position players. That's crazy. Like, he hasn't even been here most of the year, and he's 3rd. Only Ellie and Friedel are higher. And he's played bad defense.
Marte, yeah. And I think it's safe to say if Marte played in the outfield all year that he.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not. I feel good about the right field trajectory. I'm just saying.
Right.
Hey, him having 1.1 wins above replacement to me is like, oh wow, that's with a lot of bad defense caked into that.
Right. And I'm saying the current player that you have right now is better than the wins above replacement that he currently sits at, largely because he got degraded because he was playing third base at a pretty low level. We'll see. I mean, the truth of the matter is that the Reds they're finding a way to hang around, man. You got to appreciate that. So, thank you to all of you who've hung around. That's a big league segue on a big league show, and to get out of here. So. For those that are wondering, yeah, I'll dunk a basketball, and I'm going to try to do it in style to make everybody proud. But thanks for hanging in there on a little bit of a goofy show. Hopefully you had some fun. Hopefully I made you laugh when we really were talking to myself basically for a minute. But Nick's power's back. He looks good, and you know what? Tomorrow we'll see if we can't do another show after a humongous Reds win. You know what I'll say as we sign off here? Tomorrow is why you become a fan day to day. Tomorrow, you can treat tomorrow like a postseason game if you want. You can. I mean, it is another pivotal opportunity for this baseball team to kind of make you start to believe that they can and are capable of finishing off a series against a very good team. And then they have you-know-who coming into town, baby. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm counting down the days. Yeah, I get it. They won 12-0 tonight. I don't give a damn. They're on pace to win they're on pace to win 140 games over the last 90 days. It's all going to end here soon. I hope they're having fun up in Milwaukee, eating their cheese. I'll see you. Appreciate you. Now I got to find the outro. That's what we're going to do now, and we're going to then send it off to the dunk cam. So, Nick, thanks for jumping back on, my friend. Good to see you, and we'll see you, everybody, tomorrow. Make sure you hit the like button. Not the greatest to play. Some are saying not the greatest show. But, athlete.